Dear friends, in today's video, we will tell you about a strange incident, which, if you hear, will make your hair stand on end. A girl who was a Hafiza, regularly offered tahajjud prayers, was always engaged in dhikr, and was known by everyone as a girl destined for Jannah. After her death, such a mysterious incident took place that the entire village was thrown into panic. Every day, countless cats behaving strangely come over her grave. Some scratch at the grave with their paws. Some sit beside it, looking up at the sky and crying, while others call out in a strange tone. Everyone was astonished. Why is there such unrest beside the grave of a girl who was so pious, so virtuous? Had that girl committed some sin that no one knew about? Why are the animals behaving like this around her grave? Where does this mystery end? This story will not only make you think, it might even change your life. So friends, watch the video till the very end. And if the story touches your heart even a little, then give the video a like. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon. Let's begin. Friends, in a lonely corner of an ancient village in Pakistan lived a woman named Zubaida Begum, who was once the daughter of a wealthy landlord's family. Her life story began with what society saw as a wrong decision, falling in love with and marrying a simple servant from her own household. Because of this decision, her ties with her family were permanently severed. Her father, brothers, and relatives never inquired about her again. Instead, they disowned her with contempt. Thus began a tragic chapter of poverty in Zubaida Begum's life. But she never regretted her husband. In married life, her love and respect for him remained unshaken. Severe financial hardship, monotony, social humiliation. She endured it all, holding on to the belief that peace lies in love and self-respect. The only light in this household was their son, Ajmal. Zubaida Begum's love and hopes for Amal were boundless. Ajmal grew up through difficult circumstances. He became educated, upright, and intelligent, and eventually secured a good, stable job. With his earnings, the family's poverty began to fade. It was during this time that Ajmal's father suddenly passed away. This death devastated mother and son. Ajmal said now was the time for Abba to rest. Why did he have to leave at such a time? Mother and son consoled each other, trying to rebuild life once again. Ajmal performed well in his job. A good monthly salary came into the home. One day, Zubaida Begum called her son and said, "Son, I want you to marry my brother's daughter, Sarah. I have known her since she was a child. She is a very good girl. I want her to come into our home." Amal agreed to his mother's decision. "Whoever you choose, mother, is also my choice," he said, leaving all decisions in her hands. After 25 years, the same Zubaida Begum, who had once been cast out from her parental home, now stood once again at its door. Time had changed many things. Her brother had passed away years ago. His wife was now an ailing old woman, and their only daughter, Sarah, was the sole heir of the family. When Zubaida arrived with Ajmal's proposal for Sarah, her sister-in-law had no objections. She readily agreed. The wedding was not grand, but it was filled with sincerity, the joy of reunion, and love. When Sarah came into Ajmal's home, she had a shy smile on her lips, but in her heart, there was a sense of duty, religiosity, and the dream of building a family. Sarah was a Hafiza of the Quran, a regular performer of tahajjud, a girl who filled the home with Quran recitation at dawn. Her parents considered her a daughter of Jannah. This was the same girl who now became the bride in Zubaydah Begum's home. Sarah was humble, patient, always engaged in the remembrance of Allah, and free of arrogance. She treated the household helpers with kindness. It had not even been 4 months since the wedding. When Ajmal's office ordered him to go abroad for a year, Ajmal did not want to go at first. He thought, how can I stay away from Sarah for so long? But his mother explained, son, it is only for a year. It will be a good experience, and such jobs do not come easily. I will be here beside Sarah. Convinced by his mother's words, he agreed. When Ajmal went abroad, his mind was filled only with the image of his wife and her last words in his ears. I am going to be the mother of your child. He was overjoyed. Every moment abroad, he thought of Sarah. Was she being taken care of? Was she eating properly? Was she visiting the doctor? But one day, suddenly, his mother called, crying, and told him, Sarah is no more. She has died, and she has already been buried. The ground seemed to slip from beneath Ajmal's feet. His throat went dry. What are you saying, mother? How is that possible? But his mother only said, son, there is no use worrying about what is gone. I didn't tell you earlier because I knew you would be shattered. You were far away. Even if you came back, what could you have done? That very day, Ajmal decided he would return, leaving everything behind. He took leave from work and came back to the country. When Ajmal returned, the night sky was filled with an otherworldly silence. From the airport, he went straight home. When the door opened and he stood before his mother, Zubaydah Begum was shocked. Son, you came back so suddenly? Weren't you at work? Ajmal said in a trembling voice, Mother, you buried Sarah without telling me? I could not even see my wife's face one last time. Wiping her tears, Zubaydah said, Son, I know how much your heart is hurting, but what good would it have done to deepen your grief? She will not return. I did not want you to break down, or for your job and your future to be ruined. Ajmal asked without pause, Mother, where is Sarah's grave? I want to go there. At least I can stand by her grave and pray for the forgiveness of her soul. Zubaydah Begum seemed slightly uneasy. No, son, do not go there and increase your pain. What will going to the graveyard achieve? It will only add to your suffering. I do not want your heart to be further disturbed. But this time, Ajmal was resolute. He would not stop for anything. Ignoring his mother's objections, he went straight to the graveyard. The moment he stepped inside, an unknown current seemed to rush through his chest. The place that was supposed to be peaceful presented him with an extraordinary sight. Countless cats were gathered over Sarah's grave. Some were scratching the earth with their paws, some digging at the soil with their claws, some staring up at the sky and crying in a strange tone. Seeing this unnatural behavior of the cats, a shiver ran down his body. He had never imagined such a sight. The people around were whispering to each other. The woman buried in this grave was laid to rest last night. Since then, we have been witnessing this strange scene. We have never seen anything like it before. Ajmal could not understand. How was this possible? His wife, who prayed tahajjud every day, who recited the Quran, why was such mysterious behavior happening over her grave today? People were saying she was a witch. She deceived people, hiding behind a mask of piety. This is punishment from Allah. It was as if lightning struck Ajmal's head. He shouted, "No, you are wrong. My Sarah was not like that. She was a Hafiza, prayed 5 times a day, fasted, and never argued with anyone." In the middle of this argument, Ajmal suddenly turned around and saw his mother Yarsa, Zubaydah Begum, standing there. A shadow of sorrow on her face, and something hidden in her eyes. Ajmal said, "Why have you come here, mother?" His mother sighed deeply and said, "I understand your pain, son. I only forbade you from coming to the graveyard to protect you. I knew this sight would break your heart. It would shatter your faith." Ajmal stood stunned, staring at his mother. "Do you know something, mother? Are you hiding something?" Zubaydah kept staring at the grave for a long time, then slowly said, "Come, let's go home and sit quietly. I will tell you everything. I did not know such a thing would happen, but what you saw today, what your eyes caught, there is a reason behind it." Back at home, Begum Zubaydah began speaking in a voice choked with tears. "Yes, she was my brother's daughter, my own blood. I thought she would bring light into this house, but instead, she spread the fire of darkness. She only appeared pious from the outside. Inside, she was a corrupt sorceress, just like her mother was. Black magic, breaking homes, curses. These were her works. Perhaps that is why there is no peace in her grave, even today." Ajmal's heart shattered in an instant. He cried out, "No, mother, that can't be true. You misunderstood her. Such a pure girl could never do such things." But in his mother's eyes was the firmness of a harsh truth. That night, Ajmal could not sleep. In his dreams, Sarah kept appearing, her face sad, her eyes full of tears, her voice pleading. "Free me, Ajmal. I am in great pain." At dawn, he made a decision. He would dig up Sarah's grave and see what was truly there. When night deepened, Ajmal quietly left his bed. The house was silent except for the ticking of the wall clock. Never in his imagination had he thought that one day he would have to dig up his own wife's grave, but his heart would no longer listen to reason. He knew something strange was happening. About Sarah's death, about the strange behavior of those cats at the grave, about the hidden meanings in his mother's words. His mind was piling up suspicion like a mountain. Ajmal walked towards the graveyard. Around him was silence. The wind seemed to have stopped, and in the eerie darkness, even his shadow could not be seen. Crossing the cemetery, he stopped right in front of his wife's grave. There was no sign of life, not even those terrifying cats that had been there during the day. The surroundings felt like the edge of an unknown silence. Ajmal began to dig with his own hands. His body was trembling, his eyes filled with tears, but he did not stop. He kept saying, "Sarah, you cannot leave me like this. Did you really do the things my mother says? Or has someone conspired against you?" When the soil was cleared and he reached inside, a sudden cry burst from his lips. "Allahu Akbar!" He froze. His eyes went blank at the sight before him. Sarah's body was not there. Instead, in the grave lay a doll wrapped in cloth, as if someone had carefully staged the burial to deceive everyone. Ajmal collapsed in fear, shock, and anger. A storm raged inside his chest. Then Mother lied. Then Sarah did not die. Then this grave is just a setup. He quickly covered the grave again, making it look untouched so no one would suspect. Then, silently, he returned home. Sarah's words in his dream, "Free me," were now clear to him. Amal knew. Sarah was alive. But where? Who was keeping her hidden? And why had her death been staged? At dawn, he performed ablution, prayed, and in prostration, wept before Allah. "O Allah, guide me to the truth. Help me make the right decision. Punish the one who has kept my wife alive in captivity, and give me the strength to find her." The next morning, he went to his mother again and asked, "Mother, you never told me about Sarah's last moments. What happened to her?" His mother told the same old story. "Son, Sarah was not the kind of girl you think she was. I saw with my own eyes how she performed black magic, how she broke people's homes. It's good that she died. That very night, I had her funeral and buried her." Ejmal asked calmly, "Are you sure, Mother, that you buried her? Did you see her face with your own eyes? Was it really Sarah inside the coffin?" His mother hesitated. The side of her face seemed to twitch. She said nothing. Ajmal understood. Behind this lie was a vast conspiracy. The next day, he went to Sarah's parental home. He found the house locked. The area was deserted. When he asked the neighbors, no one could say where they had gone. An old man said, "No one hears anything from that family now. No one comes, no one goes. Sometimes, a woman is seen who comes secretly. She looks a lot like your mother." Ajmal now realized his mother was behind this plot. He decided to keep watch on her. One deep night, Ajmal was sitting on the veranda when he suddenly saw his mother, Begum Zubaydah, quietly leaving the house. She looked around, making sure the way was clear, then headed somewhere. Without making a sound, Ajmal followed her. She was going towards an old, abandoned house. It had once belonged to Sarah's father, now left unused. Zubaydah opened the door, went inside, moved a carpet, and uncovered a hidden trapdoor in the floor. She began to descend. Ajmal held his breath, watching. He decided, tonight, he would not stop. He would see the truth. Swallowing his fear, he followed her down the hidden steps. Slowly, he reached the bottom, and before his eyes, a horrifying scene unfolded. In the dim yellow light of the dark room, against one wall, Sarah was chained. Her body was weak, her eyes full of fear, silent tears streaming down her face. Zubaydah stood in front of her, saying, "See, even my son believes you are dead. Now sign these papers, transfer the property to my name, and I will let you live." Fire blazed in Ahmal's eyes. His whole body trembled. He could no longer hold himself back. Slowly, he stepped forward, stood before his mother, and said, "Now I understand why the cats were digging at the grave. Sarah isn't dead. You have kept her prisoner. You are not just a mother. You are a cruel conspirator." Ajmal's voice thundered like a storm, his eyes burning with a mix of hatred and rage. Zubaydah froze in shock. Her face turned pale. Her lips trembled. It was as if the ground had been pulled from under her feet. The son she had controlled for so long was now standing before her, exposing the truth. How did you come here?" Her voice was dry, her eyes wide with fear. Without answering, Ajmal rushed to Sarah. Her hands and feet were bound, her body frail, her face gaunt. He broke the chains and lifted her into his arms. Shivering, Sarah whispered, "Ajmal, you came. I knew you would come one day." Ajmal kissed her on the forehead and said, "Nothing will happen now, Sarah. I am here. I know everything." Behind them, Zubaida was still shouting, "What I have done for my child. I only asked for what was mine. My brother had thrown me out of this house, had made me homeless. I brought his daughter, your wife, into my own house to take revenge for my suffering. What I have done, I had my reasons." Ajmal then said in a trembling voice, "You will take revenge for your own pain on Sarah, the one who called you mother, the one who is about to become the mother of your grandson? You imprisoned her, declared her dead, and did all this for property? Mother, today, in my eyes, you are a criminal." Hearing this, Zubaida completely broke down. She knelt on the ground. Tears streamed from her eyes, and regret was written on her face. But Ajmal's heart was no longer soft. He now took Sarah straight to the hospital. When she was admitted, Sarah's condition was critical. Long captivity, malnutrition, anxiety, everything had broken her body completely. The doctor said, finding a pregnant woman in such a condition is very dangerous. Such mental and physical torture could have been extremely harmful for the baby. Ajmal kept walking in the hospital corridor the whole time, restlessly saying only one thing, "O Allah, protect my wife and child. I have fought only for the truth. Keep me strong until the end." Finally, the doctor came and said, "Sarah and her unborn child are both safe." Tears came to Amal's eyes. He went into Sarah's cabin and kissed her forehead again. Sarah was silently crying. "Your mother has given me so much pain, Ajmal. I did nothing against her. I only wanted her love." Ajmal said, "Do not think about all this now. I am here with you. We will start a new life together. Just one request. You forgive my mother. I know what she has done is a crime, but now she is completely alone. Her hatred is chasing her today. I do not want my child to be even a little like her." A few days later, Sarah was discharged from the hospital. She gave Ajmal some papers. "These are the property deeds. Give them to your mother. What she wanted, I am giving her everything. I do not want any obstacles on the path of our happiness. Allah has already shown us the truth. Now forgiveness is the best." Ajmal took the deeds in silence. That day, he went home, stood quietly in front of his mother, and said, "Here, mother, you have won. This property is now yours. But remember, what you have lost, you can never get back with any property." Zubaida Begum, lowering her head, said only, "You will never forgive me, will you, Ajmal?" Ajmal slowly said, "I can forgive, but trust will never return." That very night, Ajmal left the country with his wife towards a new life. And Zubaida Begum? She lived alone in that vast mansion with countless servants, yet loneliness haunted her heart. Sometimes Ajmal would return for a few days. He would see his mother, talk to her, but there was no warmth left in his eyes. Zubaydah knew this was her real punishment. Now, she only kept looking towards the door, hoping for the day her son would return with that little granddaughter. Friends, when a person gets lost in the darkness of jealousy, greed, and revenge, they do not hesitate to wrong even their loved ones. This story teaches us those who trust in Allah are never disappointed. The truth can never be hidden. Time reveals everything. Forgiving is the greatest strength, and walking on the path of justice, not revenge, is the mark of a true believer. If you have learned something from this story, then give this video a like and subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon beside it. We will meet again in the next video, inshallah. Until then, stay well, stay safe, and remain under Allah's mercy.